want us to parent our children intentionally. The problem is we are parenting our children from an angle. We pay school fees, we drop and pick them. Omuzadde atuulako mu ddiro n'alaba omwana we engeri gye yeeyisa. Just you sit from a bystander perspective. N'olaba banne bwe baba bayomba. Banne bwe baba bayomba. Yatandika olutalo, gwe basinga okuvuma, oba he's the mediator. Oba he just sits and also looks at them. Because all these things, once you look at your child, there are things you're able to tell, and you're like, this is the child's character. But parents they treat their homes like Airbnbs. Get in, do what they need to do, get out.
That's because the system has taught us that so there's no more.
Anti awotobera parent, awobera donor.
That reminds me, Nina mukwano gwange, she comes from a rich family. Kati yangamba nti naye okimanyi nti nno mwe people like you nti okulo ina bintu byomanyi. But for us, since our parents have money, buli kimu providing neerabira nti there is a life eri maaso gyatagenda kubeera nga gyogenda okufeesinga obwomu nga tewali muntu aliyo okujjako ggwe. Like the parents are home, ate nabo balina bye bakwesuubiramu okulaba nti oleeta ewaka naye ate bye bataka kusomesa.
Nti omuzadde aba yabonaabona nnyo naye let me give my kids a better life. Instead of giving a better life,
there's a saying about that.
But parents just need to be intentional, because abazadde bedda balinga intentional. Fine, they were not taking their kids to school. They have to just be intentional. You just wake up in the morning and say, nzadde abaana, where do I see my children? Because me as a parent, I sit down and look at my children. Today they are 4 and 6. 10 years from now, they will be 14 and 16. 20 years from now, they will be 24 and 26. And the thing goes on and on and on. Who do I want to see my child as a 24-year-old be? I first draw a mental picture. Jagala bera babana bafuna those Smanya Obama Washington Smanya Fellowship, Mandela Washington. Like, I'm imagining them. I'm saying maybe they should be on a stage somewhere, talking or presenting something. Now, you reverse engineer, you work backwards. To achieve that, what am I supposed to be as now, what am I supposed to do? But the problem is, people are leaving their children. They say, kasita tusasula fees omwana n'asoma. Kasita asoma n'agenda ku university n'afuna degree. Then now we start scampering. Omwana afuna omulimu, kagende wagondi, awo omwana omulimu. Then your child goes through the cycle of life. Some people call it the Ugandan dream. The Ugandan dream looks like this. You get a job. You go to Dubai for vacation and take pictures. You get a girl pregnant. You do her kuchala. You start building some rentals. Then you marry her. And then you die. That's the Ugandan dream.
I've had a problem with that. You go have a shop in Chikugo, manage it for a while, you present it, but you are managing life, then die, grow old, so the circle keeps on going. So, but have you thought about it? The problem starts with us, the way we were raised, us who are the parents now.
But the problem is we were raised. There's nothing we can do about it.
So,
now that we know better.
Generation
Now that we know better, we do better. A lot of people just lack the normal basic self-awareness. Nze ng'omuntu, at this point in my life, for me, I've used the last 3 years as my personal growth years. I said, who do I want to be and how am I going to present myself? Down to my dressing. Everything about my life has changed in the last 3 years. Why? Because no one is going to come and save me. I'm not going to blame my parents for how they raised me. And by the way, they tried. Because me, I was one of those kids who, my parents knew that sometimes they don't have time. So I only was at my parents' home in 3rd term holidays. In 1st term holidays, there's a family that they would give me to every 1st term holiday.
Relatives.
They are family friends. The guy is a pastor, the wife is a doctor. She works with Ministry of Health. In 2nd term holidays, another family who is my mom's brother and his wife. Now, for them, their understanding was, the reason that they made me grow up in 3 different families, including ours, is that I get a different perspective of how different families work.
Comparison and contrast.
nti saagala okulenga omanyi kiri wano nti it's the standard truth. Waliwo osobola ogenda mu family endala nga the wife earns more than the husband. Osobola ogenda mu family endala nga omusajja akola nnyo oluusi taba ewaka. N'ojjako ne mu family eno nga ffenna tubeerawo ewaka oba tukomawo ssaawa 11. Look at all of this.
That concept what the kings used to do in Uganda. So if he was to be the crown prince, how they were subject to how they are raised, how they live, so
yes.
To create that contrast.
Yes.
That is the concept. How many people try that?
Ekisookera ddala nga bwe twogedde wano ne Swabra, you have very poor friends, the ones you can't take your kids to. Kati cabinet sooka ogiyiwe.
You usually have conversations like, because it starts with such conversations.
Yes. Era my friends know.
I saw you organize speaking. Most of the day just simple conversations like this.
Just simple conversations.
You have such conversations.
Now me, I have them with my friends. Usually when we are just chilling, Abananga, let's meet up on this day. It's not anyone's birthday, it's not what, let's just meet up. Then we have conversations. We even tell each other, guno mwaka, oyinza obutatubaamu wegugwera. Because we said we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. Why aren't you doing? My husband, you see, my husband said, we say now you see the problem is, even as our husbands say certain things, but we also sit down and talk to them and say, so if your husband said you can't work, the problem is you can't be among us. You never know whose husband also don't allow them to work. Why? Because I want to get to a point where if my friends are looking up to, if my children are looking up to my friends, they can look up to all my friends. Have you seen those circles whereby...
Don't be like Auntie Boone.
What was those circles of, I think it was Allen Kajina, I've forgotten the other people. But there was there's a creek.
This one,
yes, Patience. Then there is Catherine Bamugemeire.
Plus this one, Diana, the one in health, who was in health.
That's the lady. Yes. So these girls, they went to the same schools. They went over to Budo and Gayaza. Like that, they went to the same schools. They are Katiola anti ebibagatta bingi. Bonna balokole,
they go to the same church probably.
Actually, even though Apollo was part of their staff.
Doris.
Doris, yes.
Katiola, it gets to a point where omwana wange bwe mmanya nti omwana mpulira nnemyemuko nsobola nga they are teenager, maybe there are things I can't explain to them or what, but I know that Auntie Swabra, for her she's a bit she says things as they are. Kansindika yo mwana holiday. But now if you have useless friends nga nawe bwotunulira mu saako yo bwe bati wallahi there is no one you can give your child. How are you going? In Africa, children are raised by a village. Tetuli bazungu.
Africa yakyuka kati.
Anti kati, that is why you know, because we are not whites and want to do the things of whites.
One will tell you we are in a crossroads. We are in between.
Ate nekiri nakyo tekisanyusa. Nakyo tekisanyusa.
Naye at least ukyalinako ebingi ebyokuyigirako.
We have fresh markets readily available. Why would you keep a yam in the fridge for a week?
People have normalized being single moms. Me, I tell my husband all the time, I tell him, by the way, let me tell you, if you ever woke up in the morning and left me, for as long as I'm not 60 and above, I will remarry. Because I believe the place of a home, of a family, is that people raise children as a woman and a man. There are qualities that however much you want as a woman, you will never pass on to your child. Only a man can. There are masculine traits that only a man can pass on to your children. Yeah. Therefore, if you woke up in the morning and left me, I would chosen Becky. You move. You chosen Becky.
I saw you have a group of 1,000 people plus.
Yeah.
Do you have such conversations?
Yes, we do. We do. Those are conversations we mostly have. By the way, women's lives are transformed. Ogenda okulanga omuntu engeri gye yajjamu mu 2023 ne kati bw'onyumya naye akyuse mulaba nti there is progress. There is a lot. You know that there is progress. So you find someone who is saying, me, what, me, I can do everything. I tell them, you people, as a woman, especially when you're married, there's not a lot you can do. That a lot you say you can do, you can't do. You can't do.
Yeah.
So allow a place of the man to be a man in your life. nze wamasobola kukima musajja wantu, by the way, even if you're not my husband, you're just a man who is my friend. There is no way we can be we are going somewhere in the same car and I drive it, even if it is mine. I jump out, I park and jump. Because as a woman in the place of a man, I cannot do anything. I am lazy, my hands don't work, my legs don't work, my brain doesn't think.
Women of late, they preach femininity, equality, gender, something.
And they are not balancing it.
What a man can do and then he can do.
This is the thing. That man, that one of what a man can do.
First, do you allow us to roll?
No, it's fine. Tewali chenjogera chiri sensitive or, you know. You see, this is the thing. When a man is absent, let us say in your workplace, you're a woman and you're an engineer. You can't go there and say, I can't do anything because there are men in this place. But if we're in a social setting, I have male friends, we had a kasako at campus that was guys and girls. Naye mukwano, if we say we are going to do a meetup, all of us, the girls, we shall be quiet on the group. Let the men plan the meetup. Let them just inform us we are going to go to this place, see what, come with this, come with that. But in the workplace, that is where the feminism comes in. If we are in school, both of us have to make good grades. They're not going to say, I know that the government will say 1.5. And because at the end of the day, also, as a man, there are two places for you. In the normal world, you're expected to perform. Just like a woman is expected to perform in the normal world. Normal world. Then at home, there are things, or in the social setting, there are things that a man can do and the things that a woman can do or ought to do. Now, the way that God made us, and for me, I'm also a student of psychology. I love psychology with all my heart. I'm actually pursuing a master's in it. So I think is the way that God made a man, his joy comes from doing. A woman's joy comes from being. A woman's joy comes from being. That's why you're saying mukazi ku Saturday. Nagamba, kangene nkole enviri zange mu saloon. Just being in the saloon, ne bamkola kaviri navayo nga kanyiridde. Oh, they feel like, I feel so good. So that's why when women do things, they're out of the natural flow. That's why they're always annoyed. Then I had to do this, then I had to do this. You're out of the natural flow.
That's right.
But a man's joy is in doing. Because a man's joy is in doing so much that a man can be there at work. Nakola 24 hours. Nakola omulimu emisana, nakwata nga abali ebulaya. Nakola omulimu gwa during the nakola ne night shift. Nga omanyi byonna ebyo lwaki abikola. Because I want my home to be okay. Abaana nga basanyufu. Omukyala musanyufu. You get? So men's desire, life and comes from doing. It makes them even happy. Omusajja ayagala abeerawo ajje mu maka ge nga gafaanana.
No, it is the opposite.
So now the problem is when we do, we deny them the opportunity to do. That's why they hate us.
Tebakyayagala kukolirako kintu kyonna. Ayagala ye ate baagala ye n'afuuka omukazi.
Trigger him to do it.
The reason is spending more time with the side chick is because you haven't needed him that much. It feels useless. And is that true?
Muwe ebyokukola. Ebyokukola newe bitaba physical, nga just emotional. Okay, babe, there is something I'm working on one. No choka mbadde sibitegede. First soko somemu wano tulabe. Meanwhile, you know what you're doing. But just make him feel useful. Make him feel like, babe, abana no manyi tuwaye tukola homework. Wanoza homework atanemi. Banenze bitu nabiera bila. Choka you know math. You first do ko here.
Bachita cheje nno. When you find omusajja nga like integeera yendala gamba ontama oli wa cheje chi.
Anti kati, you also have to strike a balance. Waliwo ebintu ebimu kati katugambe. Olwokuba because you can't do anything. Omusajja abeere nga yatambudde yagenze embaala ali mu kuba akomawo okubesemo babe yaka is done. What am I supposed to do while I'm on the way? Kati that's now where women fail to balance. Because now kati kemanya nti taliwe waka kantekeko omutwalo. Bwana koma mugambe babe munange no yakayawedde koloza naddeko ne sente naddeko na mutwalo kati oba olina ketano.
But you know, Joy, I think we also need people that can talk to those men. Like, because olaba buli kimu kiri ku mukazi. We also abasajja bali toxic.
Let me tell you something.
That's what she said. Women are creators.
Let me tell you
Men
something.
are toxic.
Let me tell you
Osanga
something, and it
omusajja
comes
nga
from
ne
the Bible.
bw'ogazzaako otya tasobola kyuka.
Let me tell you something, and it comes from the Bible. That thing that I said, that the verse that I shared, that says the heart of a king is in the hand of God and he turns it to wherever he chooses. I want you to understand that men don't listen from outside. That's why you'll never find men's conferences about marriage. But they are talking to men in a group. But this is how to do marriage. Why? You see these ears that men have, they're just for balancing air pressure. Their hearts are, their ears are here. Here. You cannot talk to men however much you want and they listen. First of all, in a man's head, he has ego, which means that nobody can tell him what to do. He knows what to do. That's why the more she quarrels at the man, the worse he gets.
He's just being stubborn. I just have it stubborn.
His ears
Ekyokola by the way baba bakimanya
and they are inside. Therefore, for you, you do what you need to do and then report him to the one who made him. You see this person you made, his ears don't listen. But I know that you have the switch which is inside his heart. Change him from inside. Because when men are inwardly motivated, for us women, we are peer pressured. My friend can come and tell me, I swear, if I feel it in me, I can go and abuse him. He'll be there sitting with his friends. He'll say,
I swear, I don't know now.
That joking thing. You go to your man and send him a message, let me know, I want us to divorce, it is done. So they in a circle of 5, they had all tried it out, apart from her. So they had done the responses, men were okay with it. When she came out to say it was a joke, things were okay. When she tried it with her man, the man didn't come back. He grabbed his bags and left the home. So she's now, she's pleading and the girl, she's
it was a joke.
Yes, it was just a joke.
It was a joke, baby. It was
What have you
She explained to the sister.
Then I have a coward. I don't think.
Her friends, they are saying, for us, we tried it to have men and they are okay. So you try explaining to him, so they are doing nothing. I guess.
So, for us women, chovola babakazi baba organizing anye misomo, simanya misomo just saying simanya what? Because for us, Bambi, we listen. But men don't. Men listen from inside, they're inwardly motivated. Chovola no muzadde ngo parenting abalenzi n'abawala, you don't parent them the same way. Azadde bakola ensobi mwenna mujje mugalamire wano. No. Because that's not how boys listen. Boys who become men anyway, that's not how they listen. So with a girl osolo tuza muwala ono munyonyola no mulaga ne consequences of their actions. Kati olaba ebintu ebyokuboka n'abalenzi. Do you realize that you can get pregnant bichi? Omuwala osolo munyonyola ebintu n'akaba n'okaba nga awulidde like n'akaba n'okaba. But a boy. Bamukuza. That's why people say men learn from consequences. They don't learn from words. You can quarrel if you want to quarrel until the cows come home. Just show a man that this boundary, if you cross it, this is the consequence. And you'll see how he'll get into line. I have a friend.
Yeah.
I have a friend.
When should I reach out to her?
We can do next week. The kids are on holiday, so it makes me flexible during the week. There is a friend of mine who actually